lady, Keri Russell.
Yes.
So you work together, you play together. How does being on the set influence real life and vice versa?
It's tough, but you get the good and bad of both. You get the good whereby it helps the performance. Simple things like learning lines, that helps.
Right,
when
you can run them together. Yeah.
Late at night, you can ask the other about what they think because they're so informed about the show. And then the flip side is you're spending a lot of, these long days, you spend a lot of time intensely together. And I know I get on her nerves, and there was once she got on mine, but I forgave her. Yes.
Are you gonna miss it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. It was a very special show. It was for a number of reasons. And yeah, I will. I'll miss it enormously.
What do you think you'll miss most about it, actually?
Apart from working with Keri. I was trying to think of a story that doesn't paint us in a bad light, but I couldn't come up with it. Remember that time we left them? Yeah.
Did you leave them?
No, it wasn't long.
And very often, unbeknown to Keri, Stephanie would come home.
The mousy Stephanie.
Time to put Stephanie back in the box, darling.
I keep thinking, like, maybe I could marry, like, some, 90-year-old billionaire and just have this life of luxury where I go on these trips alone. And I think Matthew would actually want that for me. Like, I think he would actually say, you deserve that
That's
life.
real love for him.
Real, like, you should have that. Like, you should go to Big Sur.
I'll stay home and watch the kids the whole time. So he stayed home and watched the kids the whole time. Oh, wow.
But I have to say, he's very good at it. So that is why I can leave.
Right.
Obviously, we're on the set of your new series. Tell me a little bit about
The Armenians.
about the Americans and why you look the way you do.
Oh, we haven't started work yet. She just got in from a bar, and I just came back from Wales. So we should get into costume and makeup quickly.
Yeah, we should.
What's happened to you?
I've been taken from my home and kind of roughed up.
No, tell them what happened in the episode.
What was your first impression of each other when you first met?
I had to wait a couple of times before I met her when she was actually sober. Then I could get an idea of who she actually is.
It's like an old, ugly fight, but I love those moments in the show because it's so marriage-like. They're talking about things, a hurt feeling from 4 years ago, but they know exactly what the other fight, you know what I mean? So I really like that.
Yeah, you were. That was good. Yeah. It's good for you not to say anything.
Your son is coming up on his second birthday, right? Sam?
Same age as yours.
Yep, same as mine. And I know you have to do a lot of press when you're promoting shows, press like this, which must be exhausting with a 2-year-old. Obviously,
so, the big difference between, when we started the show and 6 years later, we do very similar kind of press things. So 6 years ago, we would have been, meeting between each press event and drinking massive amounts of wine and making out in a bathroom somewhere.
Great.
Okay.
That's awesome.
This year, the exact same schedule, exact same press event. I'm not joking, asked our driver in between to not only not go to have drinks and make-outs places, we said, can you pull over and could we take a nap in the car before the night? I was like, what does our life come to? A nap? In our fancy clothes, just like this.
Nothing would
be worried about working with Keri ever since.
No, because we'll still spend every day together.
Right.
In some spy-like situation. She'll probably be trying to attack me with weapons, and I'll fend for my life.
Does that happen at home?
Hourly.
Oh, hourly.
Did you learn any Russian words while filming this show?
But barely.
Give me some good ones.
You know better.
Я знаю.
Я знаю. You said that. Yes, you did. I remember you saying it in bed several times, going, я знаю.
Practice our Russian.
His life, it was a joke to him. Right?
I'm sorry you misheard. I actually said my wife is a joke.
We were on a road trip one time with our big kids and our 6-year-old, or River at the time. We were playing that game. Do you guys ever play that game called MASH? When you were
I need an answer.
Okay.
Welcome to my life. Yeah. She has a voracious tolerance for wine.
He can make really good sound effects.
Using a keyboard.
That you carry with you everywhere.
So there's pros and cons. Like, you get to see each other in these really fun, great moments where you're really proud of someone, but you get to see someone in their crankiest too. Most people go to work and you have a whole other thing. We go to work and I'm like, I saw you do that. I saw you do that thing. Yeah, I was watching. I was standing right there.
You ready to go? Rolling? Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. Go ahead. There's definitely moments like that where the crew's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, you say it does take a personal toll. They're professionals. That's not personal conflict. That's fun for them. And you'd see it on set. And you'd be surprised because that's a really hot, emotional scene. And I guarantee you, there were jokes going into the beginning of that take and jokes coming out of the end of that take.
Usually
the mood was light, not heavy. That
it was
day.
always usually like, no, I'm more tired. No, I'm tired. No, I'm more tired. On a scale
Then
of 10.
she'd hit him.
You met your significant other on this show. You
This
guys
is true.
didn't know. Who was cast first on the show?
I was cast first.
You were cast first.
And we sort of had a screen test. I think there were a few other guys in the mix, and I remember the director of that first pilot episode said, this is the guy I really like the best, and so we were doing this big screen test scene where he's supposed to say something to me, and he came up to me and said, really slap him in this scene. And I was like, I don't think I've ever slapped someone in my life. Like, literally. And so I was like, okay, so we did the scene, and I just and he turned his face back at me, and I could see my handprint, like my red handprint on his face, and he didn't even blink. And Gavin, who was directing that pilot, was like, that's my guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, somebody.
What did Keri say is her favorite thing to do together?
Dance.
Keri, show the card. We need you to show your card, Keri.
I like it.
My dream.
Drink wine, watch documentary. Oh, that's cute.
Wigs.
It's a lot of wigs and a lot of sexy time.
There are.
One informs the other.
One informs the other?
Yes, both on and off screen.
Yeah.
Those scenes are so fun to do with Matthew, and that's one of the great things about this show. I feel like you're only as good as your scene partner. Basically, it's sort of like playing a sport. Like you're only as good as your opponent or who you're playing against. And I feel like that's been one of the best things about the show is getting to work with you.
And for you guys, when you went writing it, there was there's some parallels.
Hello, New York. So between the two of us, we're from all over. California.
Wales. As you can tell.
Texas.
Wales.
Colorado.
Cardiff. In Wales.
But we have found a common home.
In the New World, the Americas.
The Americans.
Sorry.
But that's you.
Our common home is television.
It's such an interesting job for me. I've really relished it.
I agree. That's the mark of a marriage.
Well done.
A successful one.
Yeah.
So when I left on Mother's Day, and Matthew, my guy, had the kids, they gave me this necklace before I left. It was like a little survivalist necklace with this tiny little capsule that I assume you keep like medicine or something in it.
Nitroglycerin, yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
You're like,
Yeah.
I want to die.
The suicide pill.
Yeah. So I unraveled it at the airport, and there was a tiny little picture that Matthew had made of all three kids together, and then River was allowed to write one little note on behalf of all the children to me. And what did the note say, scribbled in his little 10-year-old handwriting? Don't die.
Male and female Mossad agents, and she takes on the man and he takes on the
fought
woman.
the girl.
Go the obvious way.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid. You take him, darling. I'll do this.
We could have been together.
I know we could have been.
Like if we had met,
And you wanted to be with a gay man.
we could have been together.
This would have been a match made in heaven. Documentaries and
what is it about gay men that makes you want to settle down with them? Just kidding. Let's go back to the phones.
It's a difficult profession in that, I think one of the hardest things is the sort of, which is, you know, sex scenes, you know, in watching your partner do them or having to do them is like the classic uncomfortable time in the house, you know, when you know the other is having to that day. It's hard to say, have a good day, dear.
I've said to Matthew and Keri both sort of on occasion, you guys are, I'm so jealous you have each other. Maybe I've just gone crazy and become Stan. But, you know, they do, it's a team, like it's a team.
You have a son, Sam, almost 2.
I do.
And when Keri was here, she was saying that you are speaking Welsh to your son and trying to teach him Welsh.
I am entirely.
Do you speak exclusively Welsh?
Exclusively Welsh, yeah.
And how's he doing? Is he picking it up?
He's doing very well. He's doing, you know, he has a smattering of words. He speaks to me in Welsh. And then even when he's literally just going, blah, blah, I tell Keri he's speaking Welsh fluently. Like, that was Welsh. She has no idea. I had to burst in on you having sex with more than one person and with a gun telling him to put his hands in the air. And there, like, no acting involved on my behalf. I was like, wow, I'll pistol whip you if you don't get out of bed.
Right. I've got.
How has parenthood changed you?
I'm infinitely more tired.
Yeah.
I'm just always tired.
Really?
Yeah.
Constant state of exhaustion.
I know. I always thought I was tired, and then we had a kid, and I was like, oh, this is what always tired is.
Yes.
You're just always tired. It's boring. I'm so tired of saying I'm tired. That's what I'm tired of.
Really?
I'm tired of being tired. Hello, I'm Keri Russell.
And I'm Matthew Rhys.
Go Nets!
So a more sexual season, one of the very first scenes of the season is Paige walks in on her parents performing an act that I'm not sure has been ever depicted on American television before. Where did that come from exactly?
A book. We read about it.
How long did you keep it a secret?
I think people pretty much know.
Oh, really?
And we had to do some very explicit scene together that he had to direct. And he was like, oh, this might... He was talking to the script supervisor, and he was like, well, this might be kind of awkward. Let me see how this goes. And we kind of did it, and just did it right away. And he said, he turned to the script supervisor and went, these two have definitely fucked. He's like, they're way too comfortable together.
How about the sex scenes with the nudity? Are you using body doubles? Is it you?
I wish we had a body
No, no
Can
use.
I get one?
No use of body doubles.
Is it too late to
we
get
do all,
one?
We do all our own stunts.
One with like slightly bigger boobs. Do you think that's available? Or like, you know what I mean? Like slightly longer legs?
I had a character that started in episode 1 of season 1, and he had a kind of he had a little facial hair and mustache and long hair, and I gave him an alter ego and a different name, and there were variations of him throughout the 6 seasons that I always came back to, and I called him Fernando, so he was my favorite.
I always just said you would do the voice of when Buzz Lightyear got switched to Spanish.
That's the voice he had, because I said he's from Spain, he's a flamenco dancer.
Do it. What do you sound like?
Yo soy Fernando. He was my favorite. And at times he was her favorite.
Fernando's a sexy guy. We like Fernando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very, very simple scene to direct because Keri was pregnant at the time, so I just said, pretend like you're talking to me. I'm not lying.
I would say he's incredibly good with people. Incredibly good. And with women. I think he's incredibly, like he's a listener. Oh, Jesus.
This is going fucking south. Next question.
Calm down.
Next question. I want the slow-mo. I'll jump in front of Elizabeth. No. and then you hold me, and I'm like, one of those. I never loved Martha. That's what I want. And Stan is the one going. You lied to me, Philip. Just a thought. Years
That's a long time.
I was going to say, I started it as a single man. Now I have a partner and a child.
That's crazy.
I know.
The kids. Oh, crap!
We put them in the stables. We brought them with us so far and then just left them in the
they're
stables.
fine. They're fine. There's fresh air.
Did you know that going into this series that you could meet the love of your life? You could end up with a child on the other end of it?
Not
I mean, that is
at all.
crazy.
Not at all. I was definitely not going into this job going, I think I'll probably...
Yeah, you know what? This is going to bring me a lot of good fortune in my personal life.
Find out I'm falling in love with my co-star on this show.
I don't know, pretty fun.
I loved working with Keri. It was for many, many different reasons. So that alone, I'll miss enormously.